This father and son duo came from North Carolina to see tonight's game. Diego is a Warrior fan. Dad, not so much.
We're getting along so far because everything's going my way. Too big, too strong. Really need the crowd behind us. That's why I'm here, to give us that extra boost and get us over the hump. Take total control tonight.
We're coming back tonight. We're going to tie it up 2-2, go back to Golden State, then 3-2, and then we're going to control the series.
This is former Chicago Bear Desmond Clark. And y'all hear me on many podcasts, but when y'all hear me on Pick'em Pros, y'all know it's all about family. This ain't just business.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. You know who it is. I am Derrick Thompson.
And I'm your champion, Diego Thompson.
And I'm Des Clark.
And who are we?
The Pick'em
Pros.
We are the Pick'em Pros coming back at you in the house. Thank you so much for joining us today. Oh man, daytime, post Super Bowl recap. We had that overtime thriller there, and I think once it went to overtime, especially once the Niners got that field goal, then I think we all knew what was going to happen. So we're going to go ahead and break down the game here for a bit and just kind of finish off the NFL season and then break off to basketball. But man, y'all, what's your take? Diego, we're going to let you take the victory lap because you picked the Chiefs. So we're going to let you brag for a little bit and give you your flowers, man. So why don't you go ahead and give us your take on the Super Bowl?
Yeah, well, first of all, I gotta lay out everything that I did this year. So I was the overall leader regular season, 11-2 in the playoffs, and won the Super Bowl for my third straight year, 3-0 in Super Bowls. So that's just what I do. So Diego on me, you see right there, that's what I do. And the game, it was a really good game. I couldn't think you could ask for a better Super Bowl. Overtime, it was 5 quarters long. And came down to the very last second, a game-winning touchdown. So it was a great game. And when the Niners made that field goal, I knew Mahomes was ready to drive him down for a touchdown to win that game.
All right, first of all, let's just go back. You're not the overall winner. You're the co-winner overall. And you didn't pick Kansas City from the beginning of the year to win the Super Bowl. Am I right?
I didn't pick them to win the Super Bowl, but neither of us did. But I picked them to win the Super Bowl at this week.
You did that. I just wanted to break it down that. So my team actually that I picked for the Super Bowl actually made it to the Super Bowl. We didn't win, but we actually made it to the Super Bowl. I think that's more impressive than jumping on the bandwagon at the end of the year and riding that bandwagon. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about the game. I got a little bit of hate in my heart right now because my team didn't win. So I'll go ahead and admit that. Yes, got a little bit of hate in my heart, but great game. Great game. I think, man, it was a game that kept you engaged the whole time. I think the game was lost in the first 20 minutes. Because I think San Francisco dominated the game, the first quarter and probably the second quarter. Really, they dominated the game, but they didn't put up points. Mm-hmm. And to get that fumble at the beginning, give it up. They gave up one, they got another one, but when they didn't put up points early on, when they were dominating, when they were moving the ball up and down the field, Purdy was feeling it. I think he at one point was like 11 for 12. That's where they lost the game. And of course, the extra point. I mean, when you don't capitalize, when you have those opportunities, you won't beat Mahomes. They left him in the game, and because they left him in the game, he took it away from them.
They did. Shout out to Aaron Griffith, who had the last comment here. He is a diehard Kansas City Chiefs fans, been with them through some awful losses. So shout out to him. Very happy for him. He's one of the good guys. He's one of the good Chiefs fans, because a lot of them are becoming a lot of the reasons why they're the villain is because of their fans. But Aaron is an exception to that. So got much love for Aaron here. But yeah, man, that fumble, on that first drive, the Niners were going to get a touchdown. I think, McCaffrey had a little bit of the Carolina Panthers, residue on them, and think that may have come into the Super Bowl there. But
left, man.
But it's about turnovers. The Super Bowl. Oh my goodness, turnovers are huge. In every single Super Bowl, there's a big turnover that decides it. You had Hurts with the fumble last year. Pacheco and McCaffrey both had turnovers, so that evened it out.
The punt. But the
punt, and then Mahomes threw an interception in the game.
Over.
Yeah.
So that really, just kept them in it. And I think we've got to look at the coach. I remember some of the subscribers and fans on our channel sent us a message on halftime. Said, hey, what do the Niners need to do? I said they need to keep running the ball. Run the dang on ball. And what did they do on cue?
It was throwing it.
Stepping back and throwing it. And I'm like,
8 out of the 9 first plays in the second half were passes.
Yep. So again, can't take anything away from the Chiefs. They just don't beat themselves. A lot like the Patriots were doing their dynasty. They wouldn't have as many mistakes. Super Bowl, people are nervous. There are going to be mistakes. It's going to happen. And, a lot of times the team that makes the least amount of mistakes are the ones that end up pulling it out. So,
and you know what? They did make some mistakes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that San Francisco were not able to capitalize on them, and not just on their own mistakes. They weren't able to capitalize enough on the good drives that they had, and some of the good things that they had going on, man. And I look back on it, the only time they scored a touchdown was on a trick play.
Wow. Yeah. That's a great point. And that trick play, didn't that look like that was going to be picked?
I was like, oh my God, this is one of those. No. Oh,
yes. Yeah, that was absolutely that. Yeah, that totally looked like a pick there. So yeah, man, Aaron. So when San Francisco went up, there was time left in the fourth. I said that was a mistake. You never give Mahomes the ball back. Yeah, you never give Mahomes the ball for sure. So once
I wouldn't necessarily call it a mistake though, because it's only so much you can do. They were like on the 5-yard line, and you can't sit there and not try to score and think about the clock. You got to continue to play the game. And there was so much time left that I think if they would have started trying to play the clock as opposed to just try to score, I think that could have been a mistake. Trying to do it that way. Yeah, you don't want to give Mahomes the ball, but at that point, what are you going to do? It's not like you could take a knee and just don't do anything. They actually ran the ball down there a few times, and in the fourth quarter, they did get back to running the ball. That's how they started scoring points again. So I wouldn't necessarily classify that as a mistake. It's just one of those things that, hey, it was a lot of time on the clock and they couldn't eat up all the time. The mistake was not stopping Mahomes in what it was a couple big third downs in there, and they called great plays. I think one, Mahomes had that bootleg where he could have went out to Kelsey or run the ball. I was like, oh man, that was a great play, great call, because he had many options, and people forget a lot that Mahomes can run. He can run the ball. if he wants to. So I don't think it was a mistake. I think it was just at the end of the game, you had two chess masters going at it, and it ended up being a draw at the end of the game, and they went into overtime, and we know what happened.
Should the Niners have gone for the touchdown in overtime instead of settling for the field goal? Now, again, that's a risky play. If you don't get it, then of course you're getting killed on that. But did they do the right thing by kicking the field goal? Did any part of you think they should have gone for it when it was happening in real time?
Not one part of me was like they should have went for it. In that type of scenario, right? You got to get points. You got Mahomes on the other side. So and then you have a really good defense. It's not like Mahomes, especially in the first half, was going up and down the field, right? They had stops against Mahomes, and they a pick. They gave the ball away once with Pacheco. So you get points and you trust in your defense. It's just that Mahomes, hey, that chess master, they made the final big moves better than the San Francisco defense made their final big moves. And at the end of the game, it was checkmate.
Checkmate. Yeah, it definitely was. So we're gonna kick off with you, Diego, on this. Well, you know what? No, I got one question before this because I'm looking at the IG. So those of you on IG, we can't put your comments up. So if you can join us on YouTube, we can actually put your comments up, but I'll try to acknowledge some of the things that I'm seeing on IG. So I see that they should have deferred in overtime. Should they have had the Chiefs get the ball first?
I think so. When they accepted, I was like, oh, that's it. But then I thought about it because the Chiefs just came off of a touchdown drive, right? So I was thinking, okay, maybe Shanahan didn't want his offense to be sitting that long because they just had to sit during the drive. That's the only thing that I could think about as to why they would want to accept the ball. Yeah, for sure. Hey, shout out to Latrell here. He's been on Team Diego all season. he said this before. He was like, "Oh, talking about me and you, Des, that we went against Big Meech. You ain't gonna win going against Big Meech." Shout out to you, Latrell. We're gonna have you on. That's the Soul Food King. He's an amazing chef. We're gonna talk basketball with him soon in another week. Shout out to him. So, Diego, what's your take on should they have deferred in overtime?
No, I don't think so. Because they I think that they were playing good in the game. They got a couple of touchdowns in the game, and I'm like, if they gave the ball to Mahomes and Mahomes goes and scores a touchdown, then that would they would get killed on that too. But I think they had trust in their defense, which was good. A good thing.
Yeah, and but the one advantage that the Niners had, the Chiefs had, is that they knew exactly what they needed to do. So they knew if they had to go for it on fourth down when those came up and kind of made that drive easier. But then on the flip side, you can say, hey, man, if you get a turnover or just, stop them from getting first down, the game is over. So, you can definitely argue both sides. And, we know what hindsight is. So, but let's go to the other, take here, Mahomes. Is Mahomes the GOAT? So Diego, we're gonna start with you. I think we may have a consensus on this, but we're gonna start with you and chime in, fans as well. Is Mahomes already the GOAT right now, even over Brady?
I think he is the GOAT. I think so because like the teams he's taken to the Super Bowl, like this team, like they didn't have a number one receiver. They didn't really Pacheco was on and off the whole year. Like they lost Reek, they lost their Bieniemy. They lost so many so many things, and they were still able to come back and win the Super Bowl. And in 3 years, like he doesn't have as many Super Bowls as Brady, but but I think he's shown he's the best we've ever seen, and the winning. Adding on to it, I think you gotta make him the GOAT right now.
All right. So you're 13 years old, so you get a pass, right? You're 13, right?
I'm 14.
14. So you get a pass. So it is 2014. So you didn't see any Super Bowls before, or probably remember any Super Bowls before, what, 2014 maybe? That's probably the first one that you remember.
Was like 2017.
Yeah. So everything that you just said is exactly the same for Tom Brady when he was winning. He didn't have a number one receiver. He was losing coordinators every year.
He was.
So those same things the exact same things that you said were in place for Tom Brady. So because of that, now you made a valid point, but because Tom Brady did it like that for multiple years, until, I'm not saying that by any means that there's no debate here, but just because Tom Brady did it 6 times in the same manner that you just said that your guy did it, that's why he's still the GOAT, for no other reason besides he did it more times. That's it. That's all. And like I said, you get a pass because you didn't get to see that. You didn't know that history. You didn't get to see those little small receivers, Troy Brown and people like that. I was like, who are these receivers? Like, no, not a number one receiver in the whole stable.
Yeah, but I think Mahomes, he's like the greatest like that we've actually seen play. Like, I just think that he's the things he does on the field. I don't think Brady was able to do that. So
no, I could agree with that. He's definitely more athletic.
In the winning, you gotta.
I can tell you this: on 4th and 1, they're not calling a bootleg to let Brady run it.
That's right. And he's got the 2 regular season MVPs.
Or one of those guys.
And he's got the 2 regular season MVPs too.
So, so I'm a come in on this one. So I actually think I was saying, as much as I wanted the Chiefs to lose, outside of my man Aaron, I was still saying I said he was the GOAT even before this game. I think Mahomes is the GOAT. And the reason I say that is, my God, man, his first 6. This is just unfathomable what's happening. His first 6 years in the NFL, he's gone to the championship game every single year. He's gone to 4 Super Bowls in these years. The 2 games that he lost in the championship game were like, my goodness, dude lined up off sides, and the other one, went down to the wire against Burrow. And I just look at, and if I look at Brady, and I hate doing this because then it's like you got to poke holes at the other guy to then lift the other one. So I'm just doing it for the sake of we're nitpicking here. But if we look at Brady, the first half of his career, they were defensive led. And he had, a huge gap, although it's getting unreal because it's kind of like Tiger Woods. Like what Tiger Woods did was not real. You're not supposed to win golf that much. So when we say Brady had a 10-year span where he didn't go to any Super Bowls, okay, but that's not really that big a deal. But for the sake of this argument, right, you know what I'm saying, it kind of is. So I mean, clearly Brady has the 7 Super Bowls. So you can't argue that. But if we're going pound for pound, and just what we're seeing with, his 6 years compared to Brady's entire career, if we're using that argument, then I say he's the GOAT, and I was already saying he was the GOAT. But it's very much a LeBron Jordan argument. And man, if he gets another 1 or 2, it's gonna, clearly.
So let me ask you this, because you threw this up on me one time. If he was to stop playing right now, then play another game, is the Terrell Davis thing that you threw at me one time.
Yeah.
So no more games. He what, 6 seasons, 7 seasons, whatever it is. And he was to retire right now. He's the GOAT of all time.
Yeah. I say he's the GOAT of all time. But the thing is, this another
in this short time frame.
Yeah. Now you're not, okay, because I don't want you throwing that back at me, Des. So don't throw that back at me. All right. But I was saying it because I know that's gonna come back. But this is another thing. So, and again, we're gonna put up some of the other comments. These are great comments that you guys are putting in. I don't even have Brady as my number 2. And again, I don't feel that's a shot at Brady. We go, oh man, I have Brady at number 3.
Who was number 2?
My number 2, which people forget about this man, I have Joe Montana. And the reason I have Joe Montana, you can say Joe Montana only got 4. Dude.
Only.
Right, I know, only, right? Which is, like I said, the whole conversation is the same. But, dude, he got his butt whooped. Like, the way they play football then, to take the beating that he took and to get the 4, and the fact that, so I kind of look at it with Brady, first half of his career, it was defensive led, although, we won those Super Bowls. Second half, the league became 7-on-7. Couldn't touch him. So then he could play to 45 and continue to do that. So again, I always regard, and Diego knows this as we talk one-on-one, I always still put Joe Montana above Brady because of just the era that he played in and whatnot. But again, that's just me. So
I know I know your boy Rel had a question there, and
what do you have?
He asked that, does the rules today leads to Mahomes being greater? Okay. And it goes to what you just said. You can't touch quarterbacks now, right? But I think with his skill set and what we see him do, I think in any era, he would be able to produce numbers. And back in the Joe Montana days, I think just from his skill set and his athletic ability, what he could do with the football, he still would be great in that era also. Even though, do the rules allow for bigger numbers offensively? Absolutely, they do. You can't argue that. And they play 17 games now, so he's going to have higher numbers than some of the greats just because of that. But I don't think that diminishes his overall skill level and where you put him in the order, wherever that may be.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's a fun conversation. And so Latrell, no, LBJ is not the GOAT from my logic. So no, my logic is Michael Jordan is the GOAT over Bill Russell.
Real done touched the nerves because you jumped all over that one, boy.
Yeah, I say no, I ain't saying LeBron to go. No, I ain't saying that. No. But my argument is that nobody even thinks about Bill Russell being the GOAT, even though he has 11. If you just say rings, because you look at what Jordan did in his era and all that. So there's so many layers to this conversation. It's very fun to talk about. Diego, what about Andy Reid? Where did we put? I go. You have a less of a history of things that we're gonna get out of here in 2-3 minutes. But where did we put Andy Reid, man?
I think he's probably the greatest too, because Bill Belichick. I don't know, like he's like right now the Patriots let him go and he's not with anybody now. So I just think that Andy Reid's like a more like current style of coaching that can age for a long time instead of Bill Belichick that really not so much. Because after Brady, he didn't really do anything. But Andy Reid's always been kind of in it. And then Mahomes just took it to a different level. So, yeah, and just all the schemes he calls. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So always got to use your arguments against you. So Bill Belichick, right? You say he doesn't age well. Well, he's 72. And he's been in it for a long time. Now, this is not taking anything away from Andy Reid, but you said that Bill Belichick had Tom Brady. Well, Andy Reid has Mahomes, which you just called the greatest. Mm-hmm. So you can't say, okay, well, this coach was only great because of this great quarterback, when the other great coach that you're saying is I've never seen him win.
Yeah, but he has a below 500. He has a below 500 record when he doesn't have Brady. Andy Reid still made it to a bunch of conference championship games with other quarterbacks.
With great quarterbacks. Look at the quarterbacks that he had.
Like Alex Smith and like them people.
Yeah, but if go back and look at his record when he didn't. Okay, Alex Smith, you're not gonna call him a great quarterback, but I think you're gonna call Donovan McNabb a great quarterback, right? You're definitely going to call Mahomes a great quarterback. I think it'd be interesting if we go back and look, even if he ever had to coach without a great quarterback besides Alex Smith. But saying all of that, I think that he is another great debate, right? Yeah. I think he's up there, and you can, if you say that he's the best coach of all time, you're gonna get an argument, but nobody's gonna sit here and say, "Man, you out your mind," right. Because I think he has the fourth most or fifth most wins in the history of the NFL, and now you add on a third championship to go with that. He's in the debate. He's there. I'm just not ready to say that he's the best yet, because he has 3. There's another man out there with 6, even though he's on nobody's team. Yeah, did he outwear his coaching style? I think so. But when that coaching style was needed, it won. And you can't discount that just because it's kind of faded away. Andy Reid, best right now? Absolutely. The best of all time? Debatable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a fun argument. I put in, oh man, Mahomes, man, don't get Dez crying up here now. We don't want to do that. Yeah, it's interesting. I would put him over Belichick because again, I look at what Belichick did when he didn't have Brady. But again, I look at what Reid's career was without Mahomes. I think you clearly say Reid had a better career than Belichick. But again,
But look at the quarterbacks, though. Look at the other quarterbacks. I mean,
McNabb.
The other quarterbacks that Belichick had is on the level of McNabb, Alex Smith.
True.
Alex Smith was the number one quarterback taken.
Yeah, he had McNabb. So McNabb, was up and down.
McNabb was the man.
He was the man. Okay. You
don't think so?
You're not partial because he's from Chicago.
I'm not from Chicago. Yeah. All right. I'm not from Chicago.
No, McNabb was a dude. McNabb, I think in his career, I think he's definitely underrated.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he was that guy. He could, man, the connection that he had with T.O., if they could have stayed together, that was pretty magical and pretty amazing. One final question, Des, is I know you got to drop. Diego and I may continue just for a few more minutes, but Mahomes, what question on IG? Will Mahomes age as gracefully as Brady, or is his athleticism the main reason?
No, I think once he gets up in age, the dude is on like 27 or 28.
Yeah.
So I think once he gets up in age, he has enough quarterback skills outside of just being a great athlete that he will age well. He will, once he can't run and get out of the pocket anymore and stuff like that, I think he'll age well. And if he has to become just a pocket quarterback, which I don't think, because you look at Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers is 40, and Aaron Rodgers was still able to escape the pocket and run around too. So in today's NFL with the athlete, I think they take care of themselves a little bit better. And so I don't think you're going to see that fall off the cliff where, man, the dude just can't run anymore. I think he's always going to be athletic, but his quarterback skill set is good enough to stand in the pocket and just let it rip from there.
Right. Yeah, I think that's a great point. It's a great point. Diego, I want to get your take on that. Des, you have to drop, my man?
Yes, sir. Okay. You got to get back to work, man. I mean, some people don't have to go to school. Some people, they at work and they they get to just talk football and sports and all of that. I mean, one day I want to grow up and be like the DTs over here.
Yeah, he's on his internship today. So yeah, it's on the internship program. Yeah,
I like it.
All right, D. Hey, much love, man. We'll do some more posts online as far as the causes that we support. Definitely get the money to the causes and whatnot, and we'll do a big deal on that. But thank you for riding with us this year once again. And can't wait till next season.
Yes, sir. When I could extend my overall lead over you guys. Did I just say that out loud? Sometimes it just comes out, man. All right, man. Yeah, have a good rest of the show. I'll check you guys out.
All right, D.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. All right. Ooh, all right, Diego. Well, man, we're gonna take questions. So put any final questions that you have. This is the last NFL show of this season. Again, as far as NFL goes, we'll be back in the summer and we'll start our fantasy football rankings and get you ready and all that. But we're gonna shift right into basketball. So we're going live this Sunday, and we'll recap the All-Star festivities. We'll talk about the dunk contest, the 3-point contest, which that should be really cool. As we got the competition between was it Caitlin and Steph. So that's
Steph and Sabrina Ionescu. Now someone else.
Oh, okay. My bad. I can't wait for that matchup. So I think that's going to be historic. So I definitely want to give our take on that. But what's your take on, again, Mahomes, how he'll kind of age throughout his career?
Yeah, I think he'll be sort of like an Aaron Rodgers type, like still be able to sling it around, and if he has a lot of space, he can still, get out and do some stuff. Not as athletic as he is now, but he definitely will be able to, and definitely sling the ball around the pocket. I think he'll probably need a number one receiver as he gets older, like a true like Devontae Adams for Aaron Rodgers. Right. He was able to win the 2 MVPs when he was like late in his 30s. So, but yeah, I think he'll be able to age good.
Yeah, I think so too. And the way that he's already evolved his game, you know what I mean? So, he's not running around like crazy, throwing bombs down the field. He's he can manage the game as well as anybody if he needs to. So I believe the way that he's won these last 2 Super Bowl shows just how well he's gonna aim. So I think he will be just fine. All right. Cool. Well, hey, we just wanted to wanted to recap. Congrats to you again for going. You went 11-2 during this postseason. You had the regular season title, you and Des tied on that. And in this postseason, you killed it, went 11-2, and you're 3-0 in Super Bowls. So good streak. And then Chris Lee was able to get it right this year by
jumping on my side. That's what we gotta do.
Exactly. So maybe we'll just look to see who you're gonna pick, and we'll ride with that. All right. Well, hey, thanks for all the love and support, everybody. We're gonna shift gears into basketball. We're gonna talk that, and we're gonna have a big deal when it comes to March Madness. So you'll see us multiple times a week. We're not going anywhere. We're gonna keep this thing going. So thanks for all the love and support, and we're gonna get on out of here. Let you get back to your day. All right, man. Ready to sign out?
Yep, ready.
All right. We'll see y'all next time. Until then, pick 'em pros.
Pros.
Later.